All right, guys, I'm back with the CF Racer1. This is Ride1Up's full carbon gravel version, and this bike is completely awesome. I've taken it on several different adventures, and I gotta say, I'm kind of blown away that they can sell this bike at the $2,300 price point. But I wanted to know what you guys wanted to see out of the CF Racer1, and I put the question out there on the Facebook Ride1Up group to see what everybody wanted to see with this bike, and the number one thing was a range test on Pedal Assist 5. Okay, so I had several people ask me to do a all-out Pedal Assist 5 on the Ride1Up CF Racer1. This is the gravel edition. If you guys haven't watched my initial review on this, definitely check it out. I'll put some links down in the description below, but I'm gonna take it on a route that I'm super familiar with. This is a 17-mile route. It's out and back. It does have about 1,100 feet of elevation gain in it, so there's gonna be plenty of hill climbing on this. And it is about 60 degrees out right now. Can't believe it. It's February here in Southwest Missouri and it's 60 degrees. I weigh about 185 pounds, maybe 190 with all my gear on. And there's not a ton of wind. There's just a slight breeze. So we're gonna go ahead and get this started and see how far this bike will actually go on Pedal Assist 5 going all out. All right, let's get to it. Full battery bar, Pedal Assist 5. Let's go ahead and let's get this started. All right, here we go. And I did want to also mention, I am running 40 PSI, both front and back on the tires. This is all completely stock. The only thing that I have added to this bike right now is the rear tool bag that's behind my seat. Everything else is completely stock. No water bottles or anything like that added. Man, Pedal Assist 5 is just so wicked fast. Now I will say, when I'm hitting 26.5, I'm feeling that motor not put out power. I'm not sure what that's about. I haven't felt that before when riding this, but the majority of my rides, I keep in Pedal Assist 1 to Pedal Assist 2. That's crazy, we're a mile in and I dropped a battery bar. It said it was fully charged, and I'm gonna be curious to see how far this bike will actually go. It's surprising to see a battery bar already dropped. So I'm at mile 5. I just dropped down another battery bar. I'm down to 2 battery bars. Might be correct because they claim that the lowest range would be about 16. And I assume that that's probably tested on flatter ground. So having a little bit of hills and also a little bit of wind. All right, guys, whoever says e-bikes don't give you exercise has never ridden one. I am at 176 beats per minute. I am definitely in zone 5, just pushing all out. I'm going crazy fast, faster than I would without an e-bike, but man, I am still getting a heck of a workout. So far, the tripometer seems to be matching my watch. 7 miles in, about 7.5 according to my watch, and I just dropped down the 3rd battery bar, so I have 2 bars left and I'm about halfway. All right, we're pulling into the halfway point on this ride, which is a coffee shop, conveniently. Grounded Coffee in Billings. If you haven't been here, their coffee is so good. So good. They have a maple coffee. So good. Let's go get some. All right, the tripometer is showing 8 miles and we got 2 battery bars left. And my watch is showing 8.4. I've done almost 500 feet of elevation. So really good run so far. The CF Racer is pretty much living up to the battery life that they claim. We'll see what it does for the next 2 battery bars, see if we actually get more or less than the estimated 16 miles. All right, coffee break is done. We're ready to hit the road again. Heart rate dropped back down to right around 120, so I wasn't stopped for all that long. And we're gonna go ahead and see where we can get. Now that I've started this back up, this bike does time out after a while, but it saves your stats. I'm showing 3 bars. So as it sat, it's probably thought about its decisions in life and thought, you know what? I think I can go a little bit further. Let's just see if that's true. I'm hoping to hit that 16 miles. Actually, I'm hoping to hit 17 miles because I would really like to have power all the way back home. All right, that didn't take long. Shortly, about a quarter of a mile past the coffee shop, I dropped back down into 2 battery bars left. Okay, so I just hit 11 miles and I've got 1 battery bar, and it looks like the battery bar changed color. We are getting very close to the 2 biggest hills, and I hope that it holds out. I can't even imagine what the next version of this bike will be like. What do you guys think? Put it in the comments below. Do you think Ride1Up will go with a torque sensor in their next one? Do you think they'll go with a mid-drive motor like a Bros motor? I would definitely be interested in that. All right, get into an easier gear and see if we can keep the battery alive going up this hill. Woo. It's a steep one. I don't know the actual percentage, but I think it's probably around between 15 and 19. Pretty steep there. Pushed up it, no problem though. Again, my heart rate, 174. I'm getting a workout big time. And we're at 12 miles right now, so we're closing in on that mileage that they claim you can get. Looks like it's dried up a little since I was here. All right, here we go. Gradual, and then it gets real steep, and then it kind of caps off just a little bit. We've made it to the top of this hill, well, just about, and we still have that single battery bar left. 13 miles is what's showing. We're almost home. I think it's gonna hit its goal. We just dropped down to 0 battery bars, right at 14 miles now. Am I getting any assistance? Yes, still getting assistance. We'll see what happens when it completely dies, if the display does something different. Average speed, 20.8 for this entire ride. That's insane. I would say at this point, the pedal assist 5 feels more like pedal assist 1, but I am getting power still. All right, there we go. It just switched over to pedal assist 0 and the battery bar is flashing. I'm showing 18 miles on the odometer for the bike computer, and on my watch, I'm showing 17.43. I got right at 18 according to the odometer on the bike, about 17.43 according to my Apple Watch. This was going all out the entire time. My average speed has been 20.1 miles an hour for that distance, which is absolutely bonkers for me. And this bike did really, really good. So definitely getting the range that Ride1Up is claiming. Now, whenever I did get to mile 14, 15, you could see the power actually dipping, and it did feel more like pedal assist 1. So be aware, it will push you for a little bit, but you are gonna be limited on power when you get to that last battery bar. All right, guys, the range test was a blast. This thing was so fast, it's unbelievable. Averaging right around 20 miles an hour. This thing is just unreal. The road bike version is probably even better on the road, considering that these are gravel tires. Pulling out the range that we did definitely proves that Ride1Up nailed the actual range estimates. So yeah, next thing I'm probably gonna have to do is a range test on pedal assist 1. Let me know if that's something that interests you guys. But let's go ahead and let's start making this bike tubeless. So if you've never converted a bike to tubeless, there's only a couple of things that you're gonna need. Number 1, you're gonna need some tubeless rim tape. Essentially what this is gonna do is it's gonna wrap around the inside of the rim and block any tire sealant that we'll put in later from leaking through the spoke holes. Next is a set of tubeless valves. And in this case, these rims are Schrader, not Presta. So I had to pick up this set of Schrader tubeless valves. And the next thing is a set of tubeless tires. You definitely wanna go with some tubeless tires. I've done this without tubeless tires before, but tubeless tires have a special bead on them that keeps them locked onto the rim, since there's not gonna be the pressure of the tube actually pushing up against them. And then last, and just as important as all the other things, is a good tire sealant. You're not gonna wanna go with just any tire sealant. There's several brands out there. This is the brand that I prefer. I've been using this for over 10 years. This is Stan's No Tubes. This works really, really well. It's very thin, and then if you do get a leak or a puncture in your tire, this stuff seals it up relatively quickly. So as for the tires that I picked up, I did go with some brown or tan sidewalls on here. And these are made by a company called American Classic. I have heard of this brand before. I've never used them, so I was excited whenever I saw that they were a relatively decent price. And I went ahead and picked them up. I like the tread pattern on this, as I think it'll be really good for gravel, some road, and then also some single track trail. But these are 50 millimeters wide, so they could potentially be massive. But the ones that are on the bike are 40 millimeters, and they measure out at about 38 millimeters. So I'm thinking that with the thinner rim, that these are probably gonna measure somewhere right around 47 or 48 millimeters. There's definitely enough clearance on the Ride1Up CF Racer1 for a 50 mil tire. So just so you guys know, the tires that come on here are actually tubeless ready. That's what this TR stands for here. So if the 50 mils don't work, these should work just fine. And these are actually e-bike specific. Now we can grab our tubeless tape and we can start applying it to this rim. So I usually start 2 from the valve and then in 2 away from the valve. And also I find whenever you start the tape, you want to pull the tape a little harder than what you would expect. That helps the tape actually lay flat on the rim with all the contours that could be inside the rim. Now that we got that done, just go around and push on that tape. So I'll just poke a little hole right here, right in the center. So the valves that I went with are capable of using a tire insert. So if you want to put a tire insert to make your ride a little bit more stable or protect your rims, you can do that with these valves because they have these little holes on the side here and on the bottom. So you don't have to worry about the tire insert stopping the air from going into your tire. But I'll put a link down below to everything that I used in this video. Let's go ahead and get this thing installed. So simply just push it through just like you would a regular tube. Now, since we didn't really poke that hole all that big, we may have to just work a little bit to get it to go through. But then it should just pop right through. Get that nice and tight and then start screwing down this little nut. So install the tire just like you would if you were to have a tube on there. Put one side of the bead on first. All right, that side's on. We're gonna go ahead and install the other one. So the way that I've always done tubeless is I always make sure that this tire is going to seat properly before I add sealant. All right, here's the moment of truth. The air compressor is aired up. We're ready to go ahead and test this to see if this can work. This is honestly the scariest part of going tubeless. I have had tires actually pop off the rim. It's extraordinarily loud and it scares you to death. But I've got my fingers crossed and I'm hoping this works. Let's go ahead and let's do this. All right, here we go. May not be letting enough air in, so we may have to remove the actual core. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and remove the core. This should allow a lot more air to go in. Oh yeah, okay. It's starting to air up. Okay, did you hear that? That was terrifying, but all right, we've got 31 PSI in there right now. It appears to be holding. All right, guys, let's go ahead. Let's add the sealant. This is super exciting. I'm so excited to have 50 mil tires on this. I just hope that they fit whenever I get this all done. That should be about 2 ounces. It's already going into the tire. Pop the core back in the valve. Like it's resealing. All right, I'm gonna leave it at 32 PSI for now. Take this off of here. And then what I like to do whenever I get these sealed up is just kind of shake that sealant all around just to make sure that it gets in any type of area that there might be air leaking out of it. And then we can install this and see how it looks. Oh, that looks so much better than the stock tires. Okay, in order to get this back tire off, I am gonna have to pull this cable out right here. So I wanted to show you guys that process. So there's a little cover right here that you can remove to get access to all of the electronics. It takes a little 3mm Allen key, and then this little plug will pop out, and then the cable should slide out and we should be able to remove the rear tire. So the tubeless conversion worked. The 50 mil tires look absolutely amazing. Let's take this bike outside and show you guys what the new tubeless conversion looks like. So overall, I'm super stoked with the way that this tubeless setup turned out. I do have some concerns that these 50 mils are going to have a little bit of issue with burping, being that they're so wide on such a narrow rim. If I do find that to happen, I'll let you guys know. And then I'll also revert back to the 40 mils that came on the bike and see if I have the exact same issue. But right now, they seem to be holding air really well. I love the way that they look. I think these tires look really promising as far as the tread pattern goes. We'll just have to see if they hold up over time. Now, after I got the tubeless set up, I wanted to go out and ride that exact same route, but this time I did it with pedal assist 3, and the results actually surprised me a little bit. I didn't expect to have as many battery bars left as what I did. I wound up with 2 full battery bars on that exact same route, and I was also battling a headwind on the first half of that ride. So pedal assist 3 is super efficient, and pedal assist 5 is just for those times that you really want to get from point A to point B as fast as you can. All right, guys, if you've been enjoying my CF Racer1 content and you want to pick up one of these awesome bikes for yourself, and you want to help support this channel at no cost to you, use my links down below. It also lets Ride1Up know that you came from one of my videos, and that gives me the potential to do more awesome reviews like this in the future. And if you guys have any other questions on the CF Racer1, put them in the comments below. I will definitely get back to you, and if I get enough of them, I may create another video based off of those questions. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one.